Good morning, Signature.
Good morning.
How are y'all doing? Hello to everybody at home. Thanks for tuning in. So today we're excited to have a luxury panel. We've got Christian and Jay who house out in the Green Valley office who have been involved in a relatively large real estate transaction recently. And so we're going to quiz them on how that went and what that looked like and all the good stuff. So if you guys have specific questions, everybody at home, go ahead and type it in. Beta, you can give us the questions, right? Yep. So if you have specific questions about how this went down or things that they did or what it looked like, please ask. I've got a series of questions we'll be asking, but we'd like to, of course, make this as valuable for you as possible. So raise your hands here or type it in and Beta will get it to us. Before we get started with that, though, I'm going to have Michael come up real quick. He's got some information he'd like to share about a trip to Mexico. Am I right?
Correct.
Cool. The camera's right over there, so make sure people can see you.
Good morning, everybody. This year, I was appointed the Vice Chair for the Global Business Committee. I was tasked with putting together a trade mission to Mexico. So if you look on the Agents of Signature, the flyer for that, explaining about that is on there. But it is going to happen during August, from the 9th through the 12th. There'll be 4 nights in an all-inclusive resort in the Mexican Riviera. You would fly into Tulum. Transport will be provided down, about a 45-minute drive down the coast to Playa del Carmen. That's where we'll be staying. And we will also tour Tulum. And then on the last day, we will go and look at luxury stuff in Cancun. So if anybody wants to go, let me know. Look at the Facebook page, the Agents of Signature. The flyer's on there. My number's on there. And looking forward to having as many signature agents as possible. We have 20 rooms right now. I don't know if we'll be able to get more, so they will go fast. If anyone's interested, please join us and have some fun.
How much?
Well, they cost, look on the flyer, because you can have the room by yourself for a higher price, of course, or double occupancy. Okay? Thank you. Oh, and everybody's included. Bring your friends, family, partner, investors, clients, other realtors. Everyone's welcome. Thank you, Todd.
Thank you. Little trip to Mexico in August. Who's going? Got any takers? Oh, Louisa back there. She's like, I'm going. All right, so we want to hear today also from Tony from Prosperity Lending. He's one of their loan officers, and he's got some information about some of their loan programs that we should know about.
Tony!
Cameras over here. Cameras over.
All right, Tony.
Good morning, everyone. Asked to give a little information specifically regarding jumbo loans and VA loans, the topic du jour, I think. So, along those lines, and there's a variety of information here, please pick through the bones and by all means ask me questions either now or after the meeting. In terms of VA, my favorite loan, by the way, no loan limits. So again, we can go literally into the millions. No mortgage insurance requirement as well, which is a big deal, obviously. Any loan, you know, when there's 7 figures involved, obviously, as a conventional loan, that would be a pretty significant mortgage insurance factor, but not with regard to VA loans. The other thing I would say is, let's get into specifics. I did run some numbers through our most prominent investors, and the best that I found so far with a $1 million loan, VA, again 100% financing, a 680 score will at this point in time get you a 4% rate, all the way up to a 740 score, which would give it a 3.5% rate. So I mean, those kind of loans, that's pretty smoking, I must admit. It really is. Often with these loan types, the bigger issue tends to be the reserve factor and how much the investor requires in reserves. And typically, you'd be looking upwards of 12 months probably, maybe even 15 or 18 months. But I think it's fair to say that anyone that can afford a property in that kind of price range, usually those reserves are not so much an issue. Way out of my league, by the way. More in the Shelley Panzarella league. But anyway, moving right along. Jumbos. Let's talk about jumbos. 90%, I found 10% down. The good news about that specific loan is, excuse me, no MI. So 90% no MI, one loan. Obviously, the rate is a little bit higher because of the fact there's no mortgage insurance on the loan, okay? 90%, I did run some numbers and I'll be happy to go over those in a minute, but just bear in mind the conventional loan limit for Clark County these days, as of this year, 2021, $548,250. So basically, any loan amount above that figure is considered a jumbo loan for conventional purposes, okay? Sometimes it's in the borrower's best interests to keep under that 548,250 because they're going to see a better rate. On a conventional loan, they're going to see a lower rate as opposed to a jumbo loan where typically there's going to be a hit to the rate, okay? Another alternative is to finance this as an 80-10, in other words, with an 80% first and a 10% HELOC second. And again, benefits of lower rates. The HELOCs typically often are interest only, so that helps to keep the monthly payment down and can end up in a lower monthly payment with the 10% down requirement. Okay? In terms of actual numbers, again, I did run these through the best investor that I've found at this point. And I think it's fair to say we're going to see more and more of these programs come back as we get into the, fingers crossed, post-COVID period. We're going to hopefully start to see certainly more investors' rates be competitive, more investors come back in the market, and I think it's going to benefit everybody all around. But 20% down, again, I went up to $1.5 million, and there's a rate out there of 3.125 with a 700 score. Again, pretty attractive to say the least. All down to 3% with a 740 score. Okay, the 90% option, which is the one that I mentioned with no MI, higher rate without a doubt, but you're only putting 10% down the cost. 720 score, 4.75, 740 score, the same rate, 4.75. So again, I do see more and more of these programs coming back. I do like the fact there's no mortgage insurance involved. On $1 million loan, you can only imagine what the MI would be if MI were applied. So lots of options. These things, it's a very fluid situation. More and more investors are getting back in the market. I think a lot of us have been inquiring about when we might get a jumbo loan with 5% down. I haven't seen it out there yet. Have you seen it, Shelley? No? But I think that's the next step, hopefully, in the process. We can keep our fingers crossed for that. So, okay? Come and find us. We have our office over by the reception area there, and I know you're all familiar with Shelley. You can see me down here at Summerlin or wherever, or go and visit your most popular prosperity loan officer. How's that? Or your favorite loan officer. Thank you.
Thanks, Tony.
You bet. Thank you.
So you guys more nervous now or 2 weeks ago? Where are we at?
Hello.
Hello?
This is pretty comparable to.
Pretty nerve-wracking?
Absolutely.
Well, I haven't seen you get up and
Absolutely.
pace around yet. So.
No, not yet, but we're just starting. So.
So during this period between the time you went under contract until it actually closed, you guys wore the carpet out in front of my office. Literally.
We had to buy some new shoes too, as well.
So first, let's start with. Tell us who you are, how long you've been in the business, all that good.
My name is Carrillo. I have a small team at the Green Valley office, and I've been doing real estate for about 16 years.
Wow, you're old.
Yeah, my name is Lopez. I've been doing it for 3 years, 1 year full time, and before this, I was doing high-end retail management. So,
High-end retail management.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Come on, fill us in.
just high-end Hugo Boss, Jimmy Choo, Gucci, all that good stuff.
So now we can kind of understand how you fit into this whole thing, right? I mean, that was.
I mean, a little bit. I've been dealing with a lot of high-end clients, for a long time.
So tell me, how did this all get started? Like, so everybody knows or doesn't know. Maybe we should say, can we switch over to that? So what?
By the way, do you guys like my filter face? 20 pounds lighter. You know what I'm saying?
cute.
Yeah. Well, this is what happens when you sell real estate. You gain weight and you lose, another 20 years.
I wasn't going to say anything. I'm glad he
That's
did.
all right.
So this is a unit that is the 45th floor, not the 44th floor, guys, but the 45th floor
Yes.
at the top of the Martin, and it was listed for 18 million.
Correct.
And these young gentlemen, I use that term loosely, of course, young.
Of course.
But they found a client that was interested in buying a high-end unit here in town. Went out, showed them four different units in town, and this is the one that they settled on. And as you can see by the pictures, it's pretty cool. Like that fishy tank in the middle is as cool as they
You
get.
need a
That's a great.
GPS inside that unit.
Say what?
You need a GPS inside that unit.
Yeah. So 13,000 square feet. Is that right?
12,950 used to be correct. Come on, Todd.
I suck
So
at
it's
this.
10 times the size of my house.
So it's quite a large unit at the top. It's pretty cool. And so how did this get started? Like someone just called you on the phone and goes, "Hey, you want to see the most expensive unit in Las Vegas?"
Not at all. First of all, I just want to do this publicly. Thank you, Todd, for helping us. He was such an important part of the transaction. Without him, it was a very difficult transaction, but without Todd and always being available, we would walk into his office 3-4 times a day. He would walk into ours. He was always, even after hours, he was always available. So thank you, Todd. This is all you. It wouldn't have happened without you. That's for sure.
I really had nothing to do with it. I just answered some questions.
In December, I got from a past client. We sold a high rise to this past client. She called me and she says, "Look, there's somebody that is thinking about moving to Nevada. Here's her info." They never told me who they were, so I called. Just like we all get those kinds of people. I called, no answer. So I sent her an email. I introduced myself. They responded back saying, "We're thinking about going to Nevada. I'm not in a hurry. It's between Nevada and Florida. I'm looking for bankruptcies, short sales, foreclosures. I'm not in a hurry. And I really like the Bellagio. So I would like to buy a villa at the Bellagio." So then I see this and I go,
So let me point out. So the people that don't know, the villas at the Bellagio are not for sale.
no.
Now it ends up that they probably could have bought one based on.
They probably could have half of the Bellagio, but so in my team, Jay specializes on high rises. He's super knowledgeable, knows every tower, knows all of the amenities. So I got, this is after 2-3 emails and I went back before I came to, I wanted to be prepared. On January 2nd, I gave it to Jay, and what this guy did is, there must have been 100 emails on conversations and many, many hours on the phone. He developed this relationship with this client, and because she was also talking to a lot of other realtors. But she really, really, really respected Jay, and Jay could tell us a little bit more what he did during 6 months of just talking to her. He would do video tours, and it wasn't a video tour where you take your iPhone and you just go, "Hey." It was a whole production video, meaning gimbals, high-end cameras, Sony a7000, full frame, lighting, just to do a walkthrough so they could get an idea of what it was like. But Jay is, if it wasn't for these guys, they would have never come down. I pretty much gave it to him. He took over, and then at the end I came back in once we showed him. But this guy is the guy who made it happen. So I'll tell you, he could tell us a little bit more what the conversations were because he took over.
So Jay, before you get started, let me just kind of point out here. So this lead comes in December,
Yeah.
right around Christmas time,
Yeah.
and you were still working. So there's some value in working in the holidays. Just want to let you know there's value in working in the holidays. And then it was just a lead who said we're looking for some kind of bankruptcy or we're looking for a deal.
We're looking for a deal. We're we're not in a hurry, and it's between Nevada and Florida. So, and by the way, it was never a $18 million house. It was never that. And I don't think it was that until 4 months in. And by the way, I'm a pessimist, so even after I was showing them, I still didn't believe it. So that's, but because I didn't have that conversation, he was the one who was having all the conversations.
Well, we're kind of glad you didn't know that it was a 16 million.
I would have messed it up.
Because you told me, you told me, you said, I'm glad I didn't know, because I would have just screwed it up anyway.
Well, I knew before the $15 or $16 million conversation because we had those, and I didn't want to say anything to him. I was like,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
gonna stress me out.
So Jay, tell us about your communication. Like, this went on for 6 months. This wasn't just
Yeah.
hey, we're coming to town to buy a unit because we want to be in Vegas.
Correct. No, it's just constant communication. I mean, they wanted to know everything. What is facing what street is this? Tell me about, that street over there. And it's just communicating with the client, taking them serious. Because ultimately, I mean, anybody who says, I'm looking for a villa, I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are not gonna take them serious.
His reaction when I gave him the lead was like, Christian, come on, man. Wants to buy the Bellagio. I go, yeah, I know. Call. And thank God that he did. Yeah.
But it was just constant communication, answering every question, they had.
Okay, so tell me what this, like, when do you guys realize that this is when do they call you and go, hey, we're coming to town? Like, we're thinking about Vegas more and more. We want to come to Vegas. We want to actually tour around. When does that happen?
It actually happened in May.
In May.
It happened early May. They said, okay, we want to see a specific unit. And we said, okay. I mean, we knew they were going to get some because they tried to get a loan in the beginning. But,
They tried to get a loan?
Mhm.
Because they, at the beginning, they were...
Wait, they paid, so by the way, $16.25 million cash. They paid cash. But you're telling me they tried to get a loan first?
For a different unit.
There was a unit, that was a short sale at Sky for 2.5. She didn't know what a short sale was, so that was a little bit of a, we had to explain it's not gonna go for 2.5.
It doesn't surprise me though, because she told you she doesn't know how to turn on the TV either.
No,
So-
come on, they don't do that. So, she's like, well, 2.5, okay, I guess we could finance. The only thing we can say about our buyers is they're not from the United States. So it was a little bit challenging getting that loan. Then the loan officer called me and she goes, hey, Chris, I think they're real. I go, okay. I mean, I'm still, by the way, we're still very excited about even selling $1 million high-rise. We're not,
16 million.
let alone, and then one day Jay comes to me, he goes, they like the panorama one. I was like, okay. Have in mind the guy's working his butt off, and I'm just, yeah, whatever, yeah. And I look at the panorama one, and it was a $15 million unit. And they want to come in and see it. I said, well, they're not going to be able to approve for that, They're like, no, we're bringing cash. And it was on May 1st or 2nd, and then here we are. I drive a $49,000 car, which I thought was cool, but it's not that cool, if you're talking to it. So I go, okay, so what do we do, man? By then, we kind of knew who they were, so we did a lot of research on them. What they like, do they like wine, do they like cigar, everything. So by the time they showed up, we were super prepared about who these people were. We got a limo service for them. Like I said, I washed my car just in case, the limo service didn't get picked up. Yeah, they, when they came in, it was, they knew Jay. So she knew Jay, it was a couple, she knew Jay. The question was like, who are you? I go, I'm just here to assist, man, you know what I mean? They don't like, well, but Jay's my realtor, right? I said, 100%, 100%.
She actually asked you that question. She was very concerned that you were trying to take over the transaction.
She was so concerned. So, I don't want to take over here, bro. It's all you. You made this happen. We get the car service fixed them up. we showed the first unit,
At
which
the
was that one.
Bellagio.
At the Bellagio, and we're sitting there, you know, our anxiety is at 100, right? Our anxiety is at 100. They show up, you know, she looks at Jay, they have a great relationship. She looks at me, she's not that excited. But I develop a relationship with the husband. And in units like this, I mean, they're so big, you will get lost. So she took over with one of the buyers, and I took over with the husband, and it actually worked out perfectly. After we saw the units, have you guys seen $1 Million Listing? You know, they go to restaurants and they talk about deals and all that stuff. It was exactly like that, but with better good-looking realtors, you know? So we go to the Bellagio, and they go, well, let's go meet at the backyard room at the Bellagio, and let's talk about it. And we go, yeah, sure. So we get in the car, and we're like, okay, is this really happening? Jay was like, yeah. Should we drink? I don't know, you know, I mean.
Yeah, that's questionable.
Right? What are we going to do? I mean, if they ask us, should we decline? I mean, is that going to be, I mean, you know, you start thinking about all of these things that really don't matter. So we get to the Bellagio, we're walking down the Bellagio. They're super relaxed. They're beautiful people, super nice. That's another thing. They really also made it a very easy transaction. We show up to the Bellagio, we're sitting in the backyard room, and in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, you know, I used to play guitar in this little lounge. And now we're talking about a $15, $16 million deal. It was very surreal. And that's when she asked me, well, who are you? I said, well, I'm helping him out, you know. But Jay's my realtor, right? I was like, yes, he is. And they asked us, what do you think of each unit that we went to see? And what do you think?
So tell us what units you looked at, like what were the comparison between the
So
different units?
that one is was the highest price and the biggest one. Then Panorama for 15 million, and then one at the Waldorf for 6.8. They asked us about the three of them. They really wanted to know our opinion. And
Can I ask, had you already done the photography before they came? All that film work? Did you do that at each?
We did it in different units as well.
Yeah,
I went to Allure, went to Sky, went to the Martin, went to Panorama for them. So they were kind of prepared.
Yeah,
You
they
know, they
already
like to
had
walk
their-
a lot. So yeah, they wanted to know everything. They wanted to know
So
everything.
you had video toured multiple properties, not just the three
Oh
that
yeah,
they
yeah,
were looking
multiple.
at? And had you video toured the three that they looked at when they came?
No.
we didn't have proof of funds. We couldn't get access to them. You know? They're like, Christian and Jay, who? What do you guys do? You know?
So that's a good question. How did you get proof of funds?
Yeah.
Like, what does that look like? Because you said they couldn't get a loan. Not that they couldn't get a loan.
Right. Jay,
They had their attorneys handle all that. They submitted their proof of funds, so, and that's.
Attorneys,
Yeah.
you guys, so how many attorneys involved?
What, 7?
7.
Oh my God.
7 attorneys.
7
That's
attorneys.
different attorneys.
Yeah.
So not only do you get to deal with your clients,
Yes.
which by the way, you've said to me multiple times were super nice people.
Sweethearts.
The best. Yeah.
They were very accommodating. At one point, they asked you to stop getting the limo service
Correct.
and just bring your own car. And that's what really scared you.
That was stressful. So I had to go wash my car.
Again, for the second time.
5 car washes.
5 car washes before they showed.
So 7 different attorneys involved. What does that look like? How do you interact with them? Do you do that through your clients? Do your clients give you permission to talk to the
The
attorneys directly?
client pretty much said, so it was quite interesting because Jay continued the conversation with the wife, one of the buyers, and their conversation was how great the unit was, and he's pacifying her through all of this, and I'm going to do this to the unit, I'm going to do that. I got the other side, which was, I don't want to get bothered. Don't call me, don't copy me. That's what I have attorneys for. So any issues that we may have, talk to my attorneys. And that just added a little bit of stress, just a little bit. I could tell you of.
You don't want to say the wrong thing.
No, I mean, we don't want to say, every email that we sent was like, we better double, triple hey Todd, is this correct? Because they're attorneys for a reason, you know? But yeah, that was a little bit interesting, to say the least.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question about the 7 attorneys. Was the 7 attorneys just for the buyer, or was it buyer and seller had?
No, this is just for the buyer.
Just the buyer had 7 attorneys?
Yes.
And it was a husband, I mean, I know you can't probably tell a lot, but I mean, so it wasn't like an investor LLC group, it was just individual husband and wife?
It was a couple, and you know they're they're entrepreneurs. They have a lot of companies, and they don't have the time to deal with me calling them and talking about a
Sure.
request for repairs kind of situation.
Right.
You know,
And are they gonna live in that unit, or is it just?
they're probably maybe. I mean, you know,
They haven't stayed in the unit, just so you know.
they. I think they saw. We showed them twice that unit. They have places all over the world, so I'm pretty sure that at one point
Right, okay.
they will come.
When did they find out that they were real?
For me, he thought they were real way before me. I didn't know they were real.
So just the question was, when did you guys find out that they were real?
When I saw them in person. I didn't. Yeah, when I saw them, he already thought they were real. I was still very, like I said, I'm a pessimist. So once I saw them in person, I go, okay, I think they might be real. But look, how many times do we get on the car and we show houses and we never buy?
Right, but there was a big investment with this whole, the way he was showing.
We invested without even knowing that this was gonna happen, $4,000. Without just hoping that it would go. If not, it was gonna be a tax write-off, but, you know, it was just like, all right, let's do it.
But what did you feel? Did you feel that they were real from the very beginning, or?
No, yeah, definitely. The minute I spoke with her, I knew, you know, she's a genuine person, you know. Like, they were real. Then when they wanted to get the unit at Sky, like, okay, they're real. You know? And we got to do a little bit of research, so we knew who they were.
Well, you at least knew at that point they had the money.
Absolutely.
We didn't know they had that much money, but yeah.
Chris, at one point you asked the husband if he could wire enough money in time for the closing, because it was a very quick closing, right?
Yes.
How much time?
I think it was 11 days, 12 days, something. Thank God it was
11
only
days.
11, 12 days. I don't think we could have.
So 11 days from under contract to recording.
Wow.
And,
Yeah.
and you said to the husband at one point, can you wire enough money in time?
Well, you know,
What did he say?
they were very, as we were walking out, the last day we were walking out, I wanted to make sure that, you know, before he leaves and I never see him again, everything. So I talked to the guy and I go, hey, listen, you need to close this date, right? It's imperative that we close that day.
Yeah, so let's be clear about that. The husband, the buyer, was like, we have to close on this day. It cannot go to the next day. It has to close on this day. To find out later, it was a tax thing.
Right, and then, as you guys know, the Clark County record has been delaying right? And it happened in one of our deals too. So add that to the stress. And I said, well, you know, it's Memorial Day weekend that Monday, so do we have any flexibility? He goes, no. I said, okay. And then here goes me. I said, well, is there any way that you can send the money beforehand? You know, I kind of like, and he looked at me, kind of like, it's like, yeah, like, no, like what, of course. I was like, okay, and then that's then the war started, you know, with our mind and our anxiety and,
A lot of alcohol.
oh, you bet. Oh, alcohol, pharmaceuticals, everything.
So Jay, tell me, like, what you've been doing this for 3 years, 1 year full time. You come out of a high-end retail business, so you're used to dealing with this kind of client. I mean, let me be clear. Christian did exactly the right thing by handing you this lead because, no offense,
I would have messed it up.
yeah, you would have
I
screwed
would
it
have
up,
messed
right? So here we got someone that's dealt with those type of people who, and I don't mean to say that in a bad way, but like that's been your clientele for a long time. Tell me, how's your stress level? How, you know, you guys get under contract. close day is the day after Memorial Day weekend, it's on a Tuesday, and it can't go to Wednesday, how does this affect you personally, like stress-wise? Like, what's the day-to-day look like?
Normally I'm pretty chill, but
You weren't for about 11
yeah,
days.
for like about 11 days I wasn't, and I gotta give credit to Christian for adding to the stress. But no, it was a little stressful. But I mean, dealing with these clienteles, I mean, like I've been doing it for a while, and I've told Christian like I want to do high end. You know, when I first started, like, that's what I want to do.
It doesn't get no more high-end than this, but it's all downhill
And
from now.
high rises to me, high rises are a lot of fun. So.
You can retire now because it isn't good.
No, not
I
yet.
think that's the most expensive property for sale in Vegas besides,
Crawford Fields.
Wayne Newton's house. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this did set a record in Las Vegas for the most expensive high-rise ever
Right,
sold
guys.
in Las Vegas.
you.
It was,
Thank you.
was it 12 million before that?
12 and a half.
12 and a half.
12 and a half million on top of
the Loops?
at the Palms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What was the price of this one again?
18.
It was listed for
Listed at
18.
18, sold for 16.25.
With furniture included, by the way, thanks to our negotiation skills.
Your skills.
Minus a few art pieces.
Minus a few art pieces.
So that's what I did want to ask that question. Like, what's the oddest thing that you had to negotiate in this? Because there were some interesting art pieces
Yeah.
and things that had to.
Yeah, clients didn't want some art pieces.
Right there, they had what's that thing? The tusks. I don't even know how. Mammoth. They had some real situation there. Raptor eggs and Jurassic Park all over. And
So this is all stuff that's in the unit
yeah,
and has been in the unit forever.
you know, and I'm talking to one of my the buyers, and
By
I
the
go,
way, this is the gym. That gym is not downstairs. That's in the unit. Okay.
oh, it's a better
Full
gym
fledged.
than the one that is for the full room. And you know, as I was looking at this tusks and the fossils and $1 million meteorite that you could touch. 250 pounds, by the way. I asked my buyer, I said, are you into any of this stuff? He goes, no. I was like, okay. So do you mind if they take it? He goes, no. And I think that was a couple of pieces that they didn't want to leave, but everything else in that unit was custom made. The chairs that they had, which to me looked like an IKEA chair, but they were $20,000 each, right? And they were. And then when you sit on it, it doesn't feel like IKEA. But I actually asked the guy in charge, I said, can I sit on it? He goes, oh, yes, please. And I sat on it, and they were very, very nice chairs. There were, 30 of those chairs throughout the house, and everything else that it was custom made. But besides that, the whole unit just stayed as you see it.
So meteorites, tusks, raptor eggs.
Raptor eggs. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
incredible.
So those are the things. Those are the three things that the previous owner took with them.
Yeah, and some artwork. There were some personal pictures that the seller also took.
Who was the seller? Yeah, who
Say it again.
was the seller?
Who was the seller? It was an LLC.
We don't know. This clients are both from both the listing side and the buyer side. They're very private. I had the Las Vegas Review Journal call me 3 times, saying, "Who were the buyers?" I'm like, "I can't tell you.
Yeah,
Where are they
sorry.
from? I cannot tell you." And he was getting frustrated. And I said, "Look, bro, you don't think I want my name out there? Jay's name out there is a big accomplishment for us, but we cannot say anything about our buyers at all.
They charge you that, or the lawyers charge you that?
It's just good practice.
Right.
It's just good practice, guys. I mean,
Who was the selling agent?
Michael McGraw, which was, he was very nice. Yeah, he was very nice. Very nice. All of our agents are very nice guys. Don't talk about that.
What company was it?
Elite Realty.
Oh, Elite Realty.
The buyer did ask, by the way, whose signature? And me, like a rapper, I said, "That's the company that pays me, yo." You know. We did. They were very involved with our business. They wanted to know the ins and outs of our team, which we told them. The other thing I think that really, because once everything is done, we went to dinner to Nobu. Then after we finished, we had to go to In-N-Out because we were very hungry.
So tell us about your dinner. So the close date is Tuesday, the day after Memorial Day.
It
And
extended to
actually-
Wednesday? It actually, after, back and forth, and one of the things that we did realize that when you deal with attorneys, they don't care about the RPA. They don't care about the dates of the RPA. They hate the RPA. These are the words, we don't like this contract, this is horrible. So put that stress onto us, and we needed an extra day just for whatever reason, fiscal things. We closed on Wednesday. By then, the buyer had already talked to Jay and said, okay, we're gonna celebrate, guys, on Wednesday. We're gonna get to Vegas, and we're gonna go, and we're gonna celebrate this historical closing. Meanwhile, we didn't know if it was gonna close. We were just like, oh my God. But we did go, and
So they fly into town on Wednesday.
yeah.
You guys pick them up at the airport in your $49,000
No, they
car.
called us and they said, by the way, we already have a car service, so don't worry about it. And they were the best clients, besides, the amount of money that they spent. They were just genuine. They were so happy about us. They were so happy about Jay. They were more excited about us closing the deal than they were about the unit. So we're super grateful for them.
So here's what was very interesting to me. They fly into town on Wednesday. You guys go to dinner. Where did they stay Wednesday night?
At the Bellagio. At
Not
the Village
at
at the
their
Bellagio.
unit. They stay at the Bellagio again.
At the
Not the
Village.
Village.
They really did. I mean, they really did.
She went to the unit the next day just for a few things and flew out the next day.
So she had to take some measurements for some new flooring and,
Yeah, right.
Did they go down to the Clark County recording office and make sure that was recorded
You can't do
yourself?
that anymore.
No, you can't.
You can't. Believe me, I wanted to. There were a few things that happened in the process where the 44th floor was not listed in the Clark County record, and the attorney was like, how are we gonna buy something if it's not on the records? I go, dude, there's no 13th floor. So here I go with Todd, and Todd is looking at this, and we're looking at 7 emails from 7 different attorneys. Todd goes, you need to go to the title company, go to the vice president, knock on the door, and we're like, okay, let's go. And that was.
So the challenge was the drawings that
Yeah.
are recorded at the recorder's office don't show this floor as an inhabitable floor. It shows it as a mechanical room. And so the attorneys were pretty sure they weren't buying a mechanical room, right?
They're like, that floor doesn't exist.
That it wasn't even a floor on the unit. Floor 45.
Yeah, correct.
The building only goes to floor 44,
Oh, wow.
right? So 2 days before closing, this is Thursday
Well,
before the
it was
3-day
2
weekend.
days before our last due diligence, and then of course I sent an email. Yeah, I mean, I included the buyer. I didn't care about it. He told me not to include him. I said, by the way, guys, you 7 guys, today is our last day of due diligence. Are we okay? Have in mind, I have never heard from the buyer. The buyer responded that day. He goes, no, we're not okay, Chris. There's no floor. And that just put me into
So how much earnest money is at stake here?
$250,000.
Oh, Jesus.
And we're in my office on the day of due
The
diligence.
day of due diligence, yeah.
Trying to figure out where this extra floor came from.
So you went to title, boom, boom, boom.
Jay, during all of this transaction, one of us was always having a panic attack. Okay? True story, this is real.
How many trips to the hospital?
2 on him, 2 on me. I mean, this was
No,
serious.
this is real.
This is real. I mean,
2 different trips each to the hospital from a panic attack. What? Yeah. Major
well, now
trips.
here's the thing. Here's the problem. We have a team, right? This guy, you know how the last week of every deal gets a little bit stressful. There's always an issue. The last week of this deal, he closed 4 deals. And my team closed another 4 deals as well. So even though we really didn't want any more business while this was happening, we had to attend to the other deals. So it didn't help. I mean, the guy's dying at one day, I'm dying the next day. You know, and then you have the teams are my team is calling me and asking me questions. And I told them, I said, please, 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 during this first, during the showings that I want to show, do not call me. And of course they call me. But I think
and then the floor disappears. The unit doesn't exist.
Then the unit doesn't exist. And then when you have an attorney from New York calling you and he's stressed, because we don't know what kind of stress the buyer puts on him. When he gets stressed, you kind of get stressed too, because he was like, Chris, this is such a big, I was like, yeah, you think? But I mean, thank you, Todd. Thank you, Jay. We did it, and we're super excited about it, for sure.
What was it at, 3%?
No.
Did you have him sign a buyer broker agreement?
I almost told him to pay for the doc fee for $4.95. I didn't realize it was going to be a lot more, Brandon. But thank you, though.
16 times.
Yeah.
16 times.
Yeah. But everything about it, what it did for us and the experience that we had to. One of the things is follow up. And another one is with clients like this, what are you going to show off? I mean, just be yourself, work hard. When we were at dinner, I asked the buyers, I said, well, let me ask you, what made you stay with Jay? And she said, when Jay told me he was going to call me at 4 o'clock, he called me at 3:59. When I asked something to Jay, Jay would do it right away. He always picked up the phone. You responded, the level of communication was up there. And then I asked her, how many other agents were you talking to? She goes, a lot. But they didn't,
That's funny.
So it was all Jay. I mean, this sale, it wouldn't have, one time we were going to the Regency to take a video, and I've never heard her talk, because she never responded to my phone call, it was just via email. And the way they were talking, the cadence, he was mirroring her energy and all of that stuff. I would have never been able to do it, because I'm a little bit more like, hey, buy a house today, don't worry, He just handled it like a pro, and that's why we're here, because he did his job.
Cool. So tell me one thing each of you, give him the mic. Tell me one thing each of you will take from this experience and how you're going to use that in your business moving forward.
Pretty much, just keep doing what you're doing, really. I mean, this deal is going to open up a lot of doors, so we need to take advantage of this opportunity as well. But just keep doing what we're doing. Take every client serious and be there for the client, and just be yourself, really. I mean, that's all you can really do, and work hard.
Cool, I agree. I think you attract the people to you that you attract to you because of who you are. So what are you going to do with this? I mean, you're the team, you own a team, you're running a team, you've been doing this a long time. How do you take this to get to the next level?
Well, now that I have a superstar on the team, I'm going to use him to advertise to get more leads and more clients. Pretty much what he said. It's a very slow dance with everything that we do in my team. We do a lot of prospecting, cold calling. Everything is the long dance. Just keep at it. If this has ever taught us anything is treat everybody like they're a $15 million client, because I really didn't. I really didn't until even when they showed up, I was like, they're fancy, but I don't know. He didn't. No, he did. We stuck to it, and 6 months later, here we are. So it's all about the follow-up. Learn that, just have your systems in place, and just call, and they tell you not to call again. That's what I got.
Any more questions?
What was the big celebration? What can't you say?
So we went to Nobu, right? We were sitting there. Like I said, we had an amazing. They invited us to Nobu, okay? So when the bill came, of course, we're not gonna let these guys pay. When the bill came and they said, they were like, no, guys, what are you guys doing? This is how nice these people were. We were supposed to pay. No, and they even told the wait, no, please, he stole my credit card. It's not him. They were that nice. And
When you handed them the credit card, did you know how much the bill was?
okay, I made a mistake. Because we showed up early, and I told it's always awkward, right? I give my credit card and all that stuff. So I gave the waitress, way before they showed up, my credit card. And then when they started ordering, I was just like, I hope this stuff doesn't get declined, man. It's gonna be embarrassing. I did make sure to call my bank. I said, look, I'm gonna be spending some money today. I know it's not taco where I eat anymore, but so don't get surprised. Yeah, no, boo, what is this? And then the bill came, and I was like, no, it was a great. It definitely beats that $25 all-you-can-eat sushi. So I highly recommend it.
It's worth it.
It's definitely worth it. So we have to sell another $60 million to go there, by the way, just so we can afford it. But no, we paid for it, and they were super thankful. And like I said, they were more excited about us than they were about the husband. I don't think he went to the unit. Did he? No. He didn't even want to, no. He was just like, yeah, sure, next. So it was a great experience. We got to take our significant others, and they all had fun, and it was really great to meet him at a more personal level, and they were, like I said, they were more excited than we were. I mean, we were super excited, but they really care about us. They definitely like Jay. I just came along for the ride.
At one point, she didn't really like you.
She kind of told me, she's like, I mean, do you have to be here? I was like, not really.
So guys,
Even at dinner, she's like, here, come on, you're gonna sit next to me, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Then my girlfriend, like, move, here.
So our girlfriends are by themselves, and
Yeah.
we're over here.
Yeah.
so that's cool. So that's a super exciting experience. It was interesting to, the very first time you guys walked to my office, I could tell there was something wrong. Like just the look on your faces, I was like, what's about to happen here? I don't, sit down, let's figure this out, right? And, oh, we have this condo under contract, they say.
We had
And
to,
we got a little problem.
and that was every other day that, that we would come in. Like I said, Todd was such an important, I mean, we have that app. Do you guys have that app, that signature app? Yeah, you should get it if you don't have it, okay? Because this guy, I would text, it would be like 6:30, 7 p.m., way past. He didn't have to respond, and he was just like, here.
You would answer the call.
Oh, he would answer the call. So, Todd, I mean, if you want to go to Nobu, I mean, listen, I'll call my credit card company, I'll let them know that yeah.
Nobu's not even gonna close. But.
Yeah, okay, wherever you want to go. No, he was a super important part of it. And I think if Todd wasn't around, because I haven't had the experience, this kind of experience anyway, and I haven't really needed to talk to any broker as much as I did with Todd. He was such an important part of it. Without him, it would, who knows if it would have happened. I mean,
It wouldn't have been as easy.
it wouldn't have been as easy.
No, that's not true. You didn't
No,
100% figured it
Well,
out.
you know what, he's right.
No,
Signature
thank you, but
brokers are there for us,
yeah,
and it's
we,
huge.
100%.
we try to be, but this is about you guys and about the deal that you guys did. What I want to say and what I got from it is, even though there was a tremendous amount of stress every single day, there was something new, there was some question that the attorney asked that was just causing, I mean, we got all the way down, got all the way to the end, and why did it have to get extended? This is interesting to me. It had to be extended for one reason,
Because of the floor?
What was it? What was it?
insurance.
All the insurance.
Insurance.
They couldn't get insurance on the unit. Like you got 7 attorneys and you can't get an insurance company to get a binder on the unit to get it closed.
And the reason why, I think the battery died. I think the reason why is because they are, what one of the attorneys says, they're high net worth individuals. So,
They're uninsurable?
that seemed to be the case. So they finally found a binder that could do it, and the last day, we released it to record at 3:59 p.m.
Oh my God.
Wow.
At 3:59 p.m. I have the email from one of the attorneys saying, released to record at 3:59, and we recorded at 7. By the time when the buyer showed up, and when we were waiting for them at the restaurant, we got the confirmation that we had recorded. And we were like, oh, we recorded. And the buyers looked at us like, I don't know what that means. You know, I sent you the money on Friday, buddy. I don't know what.
We're not even gonna go tonight.
Yeah.
So super excited for you guys. Anybody have any other questions? Yeah.
What happened with the 45th floor?
We found it.
What was it? How?
It was
It was on top of the 44th floor. That's where it was.
It was a document that wasn't on the prelim that was recorded in 2008. So we actually did find to satisfy the attorneys.
So the original recorded documents for that unit only showed 44 floors, and then the 45th floor was a mechanical room. But when they built it, they actually used the 45th floor as a unit, obviously, and they recorded a separate document showing the revision of the building that for some reason wasn't tied with the original one. And so they had to go they finally got a title company to dig deep enough and find that extra document that showed it, the revision. So it was there. It was just, for some reason, those two documents weren't tied together at the recorder's office.
Wow.
So, yeah, I think that was probably the most stressful part, right? I mean,
That was.
you get it under contract, everything seems to be moving along, and then suddenly the unit doesn't exist again. And,
Yeah.
So the dates don't mean anything to you guys.
Yeah.
And the dates on the RPA are.
Yeah, they literally didn't care.
They don't like the contract. They told us, we don't like this contract. And we're like, this is the only one I know how to read. And I have to ask questions most of the time, so.
So-
I may have missed this, but how did this leak come in? And you mentioned that you...
From a past client,
Oh, okay.
a past client, it was just, they never told us who it was. I mean, like I said, we didn't know it was this kind of client until,
The client that referred, was it $1 million client, or was it just...
it was a $700,000 client.
Oh, wow.
So the question was, where'd you get the client from a past client
Past
that
client.
bought a $700,000 unit from you?
Sold.
Sold,
So
okay.
word of mouth, we did an incredible job with her. We actually double-ended it. And it was a high rise.
What made you, I guess...
Give it to him?
Yeah, like
He's
how,
the
how
man.
did that...
No,
how did that
besides,
process
okay.
go?
We have a.
So what caused you to give the lead to Jay?
Well, one of them is when I saw that they wanted to buy a villa at the Bellagio, I put 2 and 2 together. I said, well, they probably want to live on the Strip. They probably want to be in a high rise. I know my high rises, but I run a team. So to me, this lead, and I trust Jay 100% with my business. I knew that he could take care of it because I knew he was. If I had known it was a $16 million, the $1 million question is, would I have given it to him? You know what I mean? Absolutely, because the way he handled it, you gotta have a lot of patience. I gave it to him because he's very knowledgeable on that market, and he specializes on it. We had gone over the last 2 weeks to like 4 listing appointments for this kind of high rises, not this super high end. So to me, it was just an easy decision. When I saw the kind of response, I said they want to live on the Strip. I think this is the right guy. Yes.
So at first it was a $2 million client, and that was...
At first it was at no million. They never mentioned anything about millions. I kind of, after 3-4 days of communication via email, she never responded to me. When she said, she lost me at the Bellagio. You know, and she said, you know, at the Bellagio, I said, okay, it's probably a high rise, more than likely. She wants to live on the Strip. Jay, take over, and he closed it. I mean, he's really the one who should get all the credit, for sure.
And did you say they were from out of the United States?
Out of the country, yes.
Out of the country.
Yes.
So how did you build so it sounds like all the communication was via email. How did you build that rapport? Via email?
It was mainly more speaking on the phone, really.
Oh,
She
okay.
would rather prefer, speaking on the phone. Yeah, we did email a lot, but it was really communication on the phone.
So how did you build that rapport on the phone?
Just normal conversations, one thing she told me, she's all like, you didn't get excited. You didn't think of the money right away. So you were just being you.
Commission bread was out of this, 100%.
That's why she probably felt very comfortable with me.
Another thing, the commission bread, once, when they came in and we were sitting at the Bellagio at the back of the room, which forever will be on my mind, that's one of the best rooms in Las Vegas. We're sitting there, and then I say, I'm trying to do the reverse psychology. We don't care about the commission, even though we're already spending money. I said, well, guys, we'll let you go. I know you guys are on vacation, and we don't want to impose on that. She looked at me, she goes, vacation? We're here to buy a house. I was like, okay. I said, well, I said, and then it was only then, after we showed them, after we spent $4,000 on everything that we had spent on, that I knew they were real. When she told me, we're not on vacation, Chris, we're here to buy a property. And I was like, okay, now it's real, yeah. But it wasn't until then that I believed on it.
All right, well, we're super excited for you. Go ahead.
I can just want to say, I can imagine your anxiety level at Nobu when you were like waiting for that like recorded email, like what you guys were doing. I can just picture you guys facing the bar.
It actually got that before they showed up. It was recorded, so it was like I was worried about my credit card getting declined. I haven't gotten paid yet, so it was like, oh my god. But no, it was good. It was we're very excited about it.
So just a couple things. Follow up.
100%.
Right? I mean, this is a deal that happened because someone did their job. That's what it really boils down to. And I think as agents, we need to understand that even these high-end, super high-end deals, the low-end deals, they all come from the same thing, and that's from just doing our jobs. So follow up. Now, Chris, the other thing I want to tell you is you can buy some socks now.
I like to live my life on the edge, you know what I mean? So
That's living on the edge.
that's it. Well, I do have they are
The little
socks.
socks, the
Yeah,
little
come on,
ones.
guys.
Look, don't show us your socks. It's all good.
Leathers.
Yeah, you can't.
All right. Any other questions? Anything online?
Online, will you be upgrading your car now?
Will you be upgrading that cheap car you drive?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. My father-in-law asked me the same question. He goes, well, are you going to buy a real car now? I'm like, I said, take it easy, buddy. No, I will have, if I ever have clients like that again, I will use, what was the service that we got?
The limo service?
The limo service. It was great. It was incredible. It was expensive, but it was worth it. Yes, no.
So the truth is, he actually has two cars. He has his daily driver that he drives to work every day. It's a Honda.
No, it's a Mercedes with no AC. The AC only goes on this side. So yesterday I found myself driving. Everybody thought I was gangster. It wasn't. And then the other one is a newer car.
All right. Well, I hope everybody got something that you could use in your business. It was not a mindset thing, just the fact that following up is valuable. And thanks for attending the meeting today.
Thank you guys.